Okay. Now, yes, you do have to duck walk there because that guard on the right side can see you. Anyway, headshot this guy from behind.
With the government needed control restored to the sectors they know who to call. Piedras o limón. Outfitted with a comprehensive array of the latest high-tech weaponry. Our armored octopi are ideally suited to any and all combat situations. L'État de Piedra pour votre guerre. Piedra o limón. We await your command.
Alright. Now here I'm taking an unoptimized route to make sure that I have a certain degree of safety. Because I got a few extra anesthetic rounds. So now, I don't necessarily have to worry about missing as much. Which is good, because I immediately miss multiple times. Now, this area, there is a route to... I'm just following a specific path to get to the correct exit. Gotta crawl over here, because this guy can surprise you with how good his vision is at times. But in general, the people in this area actually have really terrible vision. It's really jarring to a lot of the other enemies in the game. It's the main path is just hugging to the left. So... eventually, yep, made it up the path.
Snake, can you hear me?
This is Jack, isn't it?
I am Raiden. Jack is no more.
Where are you now?
I'm right beside you.
Raiden, where have you been all this time? What have you been doing?
On a mission. Finding something. For someone.
Finding what?
The corpse. Of Big Boss.
What?
I was asked to do this in exchange for Sonny's location.
Liquid?
No. The leader of a small resistance group. Her followers call her Matka Pluku.
Matka Pluku. Big Mama.
We'll finish this later. I'll follow your trail and catch up with you.
Wait, what about Big Boss's body?
It's with her now.
Her?
What's going on, Snake?
Rose, I just got a call from Raiden. It sounds like he's close by.
Jack?
Yeah.
Did he seem okay?
Yeah, as far as I could tell from his voice.
Really? That's great. Snake, I have a favor to ask.
What?
Don't let him know I'm involved in this operation, okay? I think it would be best to just leave him alone for now.
What happened between you and Jack?
After the big shell incident, he became unstable. Memories began to resurface from his childhood when he fought for Solidus in the Liberian Civil War. And in the midst of all of that, the baby we had together, it hadn't even been born yet. Jack slowly stopped coming home. And when he did, he'd be dead drunk, sometimes covered in cuts and bruises. Roy was worried. He was Jack's commanding officer. But Jack just avoided him. I was all alone. And Roy was so kind to me. He's the one who encouraged me to become a counselor. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I needed to get over it. To move on with my life. I'm worried about him, of course, but I'm also afraid of him.
All right. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Thank you, Snake.
Anyway, right back into gameplay. You can, in theory, run right down, and then go in a ducking position right after this drop. However, I've tried it twice. Both times, that car saw me. So it may have something to do with what outfit you're wearing. You know, maybe my garish style just does not mesh well with the environment. Anyway, there are about 3 different paths to get to the mansion. One is through some swamp, one is through a prison camp, and another is through some sort of communications thingy, or a communications hut of sorts. The prison camp is the easiest one to get through because it has very few enemies and there are no combat. There is no rebel guerrillas already on their way. So you only have to knock out maybe 2 or 3. I think I actually knock out too many. Like the guy up here you could theoretically avoid. And even the guy to my left, right here, who's guarding the few prisoners that are here, I don't think he'll ever bother. I don't think he actually will bother you. But by getting rid of this guy early, and knowing that the other guys are distracted, I can saunter on over directly to the front of the mansion. How fast you want to go through here depends on what speed, or depends on how much of a risk you really want to take. You can kind of duck walk through like half of this, but you're gonna put yourself at a huge risk of accidentally getting spotted. Even with this war zone, they can see you fairly easily, and they will be able to hear you really, really easily. Alright, you only have to take care of maybe 2 or 3 of them. Oh, I'm sorry about this next portion. I accidentally put my thermal vision on during the cutscene and I forgot to take it off. I apologize for this ahead of time. You don't need to give it any cover at all. It will always break through. And a really weird thing is it actually despawns all the enemy soldiers on the outside. Okay, now, since all the soldiers are despawned, some of their weapons also despawn. Or, sorry, a lot of their weapons don't respawn. So you can actually go around picking up some extra weapons that you may not have yet. Okay, so get some machine guns for later. And of course, get some well-needed Drebin points. Now, a problem that's starting to arise is that because I'm taking slightly longer than I would have liked to actually get here, I am constantly around soldiers with no real break. And not only is fatigue on my hands setting in because this is one long recording.
Naomi's lab is somewhere inside those mansion grounds. Proceed immediately. Infiltrate the place and find out where she is.
But also, fatigue on Snake is setting in. When the stress level gets too high and your psych level gets too high, something very, very weird can happen with Snake where he just passes out. I got this extra anesthetic because once again, for safety. And anyway, somehow I get shot. And as I'm sure you can see, my aim is terrible now that my psych is low. So, yeah. That might be the first time that's been recorded. That's what happens when you are low on psych and have high stress and get damaged. If I was in an alert status, I would have been completely screwed. So yes, this is probably why most segmented runs are not recorded all in sequence. They probably take a few hours to let Snake not be affected by the stress levels. This is the easiest way to deal with them. Before, you could theoretically try something similar with sleep gas grenades. However, this is the most direct method. Take them out instantly. Now, I have to deal with my to do something to lower my stress and increase my psych. And once again, we're going to be doing it with creepy stares. Staring at any Akina poster throughout the mansion. There are two in the mansion. One is behind a painting that's hung up. One is on the ceiling, and the ceiling one is much easier to get, and you're on a bed. So, because of this, Snake refills his psyche meter freaking instantly, and the stress level drops dramatically. A lot of these item collections are unnecessary, but I wanted to make sure that stun grenade is not, given that how much I used. But I wanted to make sure I was prepared for any situation in the future. Anyway, climb this ladder and see if Naomi's on the other side.
Then we'll have to make a lot of changes. Yes, that's right. We'll need another go at it. That won't be a problem. Uh-huh. Yes. I've taken care of it. Yes, I understand, but... Yes, the next test.
Naomi.
And things on your end? I see. We're on schedule here as well. I know. Me too. Until then.
Naomi.
Snake. I knew you'd come. You and I, neither of us can escape our fate. I haven't seen you since Shadow Moses. How long? 10 years? 9. And Dr. Emmerich, is he with you?
Why?
I thought he'd be the only one able to open the mail I sent. Not many people could recognize 4D sound data in a soliton radar file. How is the good doctor?
Otacon's fine. He's the same as ever.
Otacon? I see.
Who were you just talking to?
Liquid. Although I suppose he's really Ocelot, from a medical standpoint.
I thought he was here.
He's not, at the moment.
Where are all the guards?
They know I won't escape. I'm powerless to resist. I have no choice but to cooperate.
Naomi. What happened in the Middle East?
What you saw was the soldiers' emotions run amok.
Another product of the system.
You don't trust me?
I'm not sure yet.
And if I answer your question,
Let's hear it first.
Liquid... We thought the SOP was an ID control system designed primarily to maintain order and control in battle. And we were right. But only partially. SOP had another function. To control people's senses. The nanomachines inside soldiers' bodies adapt to different conditions, promoting the release of neurotransmitters, hormones, and stimulants, giving them an edge in battle. They can create an artificial combat high by releasing endorphins at the same time a soldier kills an enemy. Or they can suppress hormones to neutralize the soldier's emotions, prevent them from panicking and engaging in friendly fire or needless massacres. It's all controlled by the system's core AI. It artificially controls the soldier's pain, emotion, senses, in other words, the essence of his being. The skyrocketing demands of the war economy have fueled the demand for more soldiers and more fighting. This in turn led to the development of technologies to rapidly improve their combat abilities and control their actions. The system ensures a steady supply of battle-optimized soldiers at a minimum of cost. But you, of all people, must understand, Snake, that unlike combat technique, a soldier's senses can't be taught. They must be earned through experience.
Does this have something to do with that test of yours?
The goal was to release the soldiers' nanomachines from the system, but we didn't know about the mental control.
And the nanomachines went berserk?
No. Our test was a success. At least it confirmed our hypothesis at the time. Just as we predicted, the nanomachines stopped functioning, and the PMC soldiers were freed from the grips of the system. But the moment the system stopped, all the pain and fury and sorrow, all the trauma and stress, all the hatred, regret, guilt, all the sensations that had been suppressed were unleashed within their hearts. Their memories, unlike their senses, weren't erased. Each enemy soldier they'd killed, each lost comrade, each threat of violence against the innocent, every act of war they'd committed was etched firmly in their hearts. In suppressing the user's mind, the nanomachines exact a heavy burden on his heart. The user's body rejects the nanomachines. This reaction must then be suppressed with drugs. Before the user knows it, his mind is in complete shambles. Snake, remember Frank?
Frank Yeager. Gray Fox.
They twisted his body for their experiments and nullified his broken heart with nanomachines. SOP has taken it even further and applied it to living human beings. The sins of war these soldiers carried inside them returned to assault them in the form of unimaginable shell shock. The meaning in the system may have changed, but the battlefield hasn't. Until that point, war was like a game to them. And then suddenly, reality came crashing down. Ordinarily, our hearts are hardened through experience. Even the most grizzled veterans live with an inescapable guilt they've had to overcome bit by bit through the years. And even then, it never truly goes away. For a mind lacking that essential experience, it was simply too much to bear.
But what about me? I've never been under the system's control.
That's why I want to examine your body. You need to know too. All right, Snake. Undress. Snake, what's gotten into you? Hurry up. Oh my God. Snake.
All right, let's just get this over with.
Yes. Of course. I'm sorry. Snake, do you remember what I told you in my video mail about the first generation of nanomachines?
The ones you stuck me with at Moses.
Yes. The nanomachines are recharged by your body heat. They won't stop functioning until they're all extracted. Or until you do. Most of them were lost through bleeding and excretion, but around 30% still remain inside your body, attached to your cells. Not finished yet. The first generation were never ID registered, so they don't react in the same way as the SOP nanomachines. Ready? But they may be interfering with your body, and with your heart.
So, does the aging have something to do with Fox die too?
No. Your telomeres were intentionally set up to be short, regardless of the age of the original. One of the genes that inhibit reproduction and aging, the Clotho gene, was intentionally mutated as well. But more importantly, your chromosomes, like liquids, were provided with terminator genes to prevent them from making copies.
Why?
Your clones created for one purpose: war. And so, in order to prevent you from being abused by clients or stolen by the enemy, they shortened your lifespan and removed your ability to reproduce. It was a safety device to ensure that the seed of Big Boss didn't end up in the hands of others. The reason you're aging so rapidly isn't because of disease or faulty research or Fox die. It's how you were born. It's your natural lifespan.
The truth, Naomi. How long is my body gonna hold out?
Your cells, blood, organs, nerves, skeletal system, muscle tissue. Every part of your body is aging rapidly. An ordinary man wouldn't even be standing by now. Snake, the only thing keeping you together is the strength of your will.
How long do I have?
Half a year. Don't. Snake. There's something I have to tell you.
Now what?
You and I both know your body is approaching its limit. But when I said half a year, I wasn't talking about your lifespan.
What do you mean?
We can't get rid of the Fox dye in your body completely. At this point, it's circulating within you like a normal virus.
Yeah, so?
Listen to me. Fox-Die only kills its victims when the infected person's genetic code fully matches the genetic sequence programmed into the virus's receptors. In other words, it only attacks targets with specific genes.
I know. That's what killed the AT president. And Liquid.
Yes. And at the same time, it's set up to protect those not designated as targets from the virus's harmful effects. Here, I'll show you. The receptors on the Fox-Die inside your body are breaking down. The rapid aging process is changing the environment within your body. As a result, the virus is starting to mutate. The viruses on the left are Fox-Die in its original form. The ones on the right I took from your body. They're already mutated. The receptors, they're wearing down.
Meaning?
This mutated version of Fox-Die could activate even if the infected person's genetic pattern doesn't perfectly match the receptors. Which means the virus is becoming indiscriminate about what type of target it kills. Ever since Shadow Moses, Fox-Die has been breeding continuously in the nanomachine colony inside your body and dispersing into the air. But there are no more targets to attack, so there haven't been any more outbreaks. However, if the receptors continue to wear down, it'll become a killer virus that attacks untold numbers of victims.
What if we kill them all? Remove them from the body?
There are no antibodies either. I don't know what percentage of the receptors have to break down, or how many people will be targeted when that happens. But what is certain is that people will begin to catch Fox-Die through airborne transmission. It'll start with those closest to you. Then, one by one, they'll lose their lives. The part of the virus that distinguishes between individuals will start to break down in about...
Half a year.
No. 3 months at the most.
3 months?
Ironic, isn't it? You've spent your entire life saving the world from Metal Gear, from nuclear annihilation. And now, you're becoming a doomsday device yourself. I can't predict exactly how devastating the epidemic will be. Whether just 1% of the human race could unlock the broken receptors, or whether we all can. In either case, 3 months from now, you'll be a walking biological weapon. If it were up to me, you'd be quarantined already.
It's not over yet.
I know. You still have a job to do. You have 3 months. Still enough time to think once all of this is done with.
And if I choose death first? Will that stop Fox-Die from spreading?
When the host dies, the virus dies with it. Snake, tell me one more thing. Have you been to a hospital lately?
Yeah.
While you were there, did they give you an injection?
Don't they always?
Take a look at this. These came out of your body as well. It's a new strain of foxdie, one I've never seen. Someone must have put them in you recently. Do you have any idea who?
Him.
The new foxdie strain is starting to multiply rapidly.
What's in it?
I can't say for sure. I'll need to do some more tests. Here, take this. It contains the same substance the soldiers' nanomachines secrete inside their bodies. It's a drug that inhibits the nanomachine's ability to regulate the senses. The nanomachines inside the body malfunction when the system interferes with them. It triggers a reaction in the body, which is why you're having the seizures. Give yourself a shot whenever they get bad. It's potent, so use it sparingly, unless you want to end up an invalid. It may restore your psyche for a short while, but use it too often and the amount restored will start to decrease. I've been a fool. I let myself drown in my nanomachines, and now I'm trapped by them.
You said yourself we mustn't allow ourselves to be chained to fate.
I can't slip free.
Then I'll free us both. Where's Liquid?
I can't tell you yet. Not until you free me.
Do you even know?
Liquid left here last night.
Where was he headed?
Those are my terms. I can't leave this place of my own will.
What are you talking about?
I'm being watched. Liquid has altered his plan. Removing the system will only cause his army to collapse from within. So he's chosen to seize control instead. Liquid's objective is to hijack the SOP system. He'll use it to create the ultimate army of perfect soldiers and launch his insurrection against the Patriots. There's a name for his new plan. He calls it Guns of the Patriots.
Guns of the Patriots.
This place isn't safe. Come with us. This way. Okay, there are two methods you can use to get through this without getting caught. One is by just hiding under the bed and then going for tranquilizer shots that will eventually wear them down. This, however, is the much more interesting strategy, which is knocking out the first couple and then manipulating which frogs get spawned in at what points. There's a point right by this bed where if you're standing here, they will always come out through the roof. Presumably this extends all the way to underneath the bed. Alright, I missed them the first time. So, just gotta go back, knock her out, go back to this position, and lie in wait. They will always spawn in right from that rooftop. From the hole in the roof, I should say. You do not want to go early, because if you go past them, they will notice you, and then they will just call an alert. Now, right before Laughing Octopus, I have to go and set up my weapons. Get the best machine gun you can this early in the game for damage. I have to equip it and then go to my main custom weapon after buying a javelin, and I have to adjust it to get a shotgun and then buy a few shotgun rounds. Alright. Now all that being done, it's time for Octopus. So, this pattern is pretty damn set. Or your actions here. Knock her down so that you can get the V-ring for after the boss battle. And from here on, I'll primarily be using the G3 assault rifle because it's the highest damaging assault rifle in the game, or so far. And be using the... Whoa, okay, here's my mistake. I take a great deal of damage, so I basically cannot take damage for the rest of the fight. And the other thing besides the G3A3, okay, right here, I stop before it's finished so that she can crawl out, and I can do more damage to her while she's in this state. Had I stopped, I would not have ultimately gotten this much damage off on her. Alright, now just dodge the bombs once again. And now try to find her in her next hiding spot. These frogs can be very, very annoying because if you try to use an explosive around them, they will just get killed, which will murder the no-kill thingy. Anyway, I heard that she's very nearby, so check the box and try to see any other places she could be. Then you gotta check the walls and... on the ceiling? Right there. Gotta knock her down because if you don't, she just starts shooting with her P90. So yes, it's a hide and seek game. Keep trying to find out where she is next. If you don't damage her enough, she'll start becoming much more offensive, and that is dangerous. Now, from listening to her position, I figured out that it was, oh, okay, she's probably in the box. Okay. Now, in the main room is where you gotta start noticing minor differences. Cause, remember, only one human model. And of course, always look for the ink blots. So, trying to look around because there's a couple of places she can be. But after hearing that, I know where she is. So, right there, I messed up huge. because I didn't keep firing when she was there. Alright. So now just following the ink blots to see where she is. Fortunately having a bit of trouble.
Snake, come here.
Okay, so, by the way, if you call Otacon during this time, it is hilarious. So I didn't want to accidentally kill the
Way, Snake.
rats or the frog, so had to get him to move so I could shoot her with a rocket launcher. I believe now she will be more aggressive. Oh no. So now she's posing as a fake body. So I believe now she will become more aggressive. So yes. That ball attack, all you have to do is just get onto a higher surface. And what this may be the most surreal thing she does.
Why? It's another mimic. Watch out, Snake.
Alright. So for the rest of the battle, she's cammed up as Naomi. And now, this is where she's on the aggressive the whole time, so just gotta watch out for her and her P90 attacks. Get into cover, and we're about to finish her off. So you're just gonna burst through the window or burst through the roof. Watch out for the ball attack. And goodbye, Laughing Octopus. This does not count as a kill, because we did not kill her yet. What we do next will determine whether or not our attack has been counted as a kill.
I am an octopus. An 8-legged beast. These tentacles are beyond my control. Their will is the will of the battlefield. So funny. It's all so funny. No, it's not funny. Nothing is funny. I shouldn't be laughing. I can't. The truth is, I'm not laughing. Not laughing at all. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm scared. I'm really scared. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry I laughed. I'm sorry. I won't laugh anymore. I can't. I I don't want to.
Snake.
Okay, this
She
is a
said
very
shoot.
simple strategy
Who
to
knows
get
what
her
she'll
to
throw at
stop
you
dodging
next.
any hits.
Watch out.
And the highest damaging thing you can do here is use this V-ring shotgun thingy. But somehow she dodges it. And here's the sexy time attack that she can do. It's actually really dangerous if she catches you more than once. So, yeah. Start rolling back and forth and she'll stay in the position longer. And unfortunately, I ran out of ammo, so now I'm in a scary position. She done, yo.
Yo, Snake, looking good today.
Drebin, what do you want?
That's cold, man. And here I was about to tell my very best customer about face camo.
Face camo?
That camo skull cap you just picked up from Tentacle's shell. It utilizes the same kind of technology as your Octo camo suit. Using the two together can get you even better results. I'd hang on to it if I was you.
Doesn't fit. It's not my size or shape.
Yeah, looks like it could use a bit of tailoring before you can sport it. Not my line of work, but... Ain't you got a buddy who specializes in that kind of thing?
Somebody's done their homework.
Hey, it's my job.
Is that the real reason you injected me with those nanomachines? To spy on me?
I prefer the term customer data management myself.
Drebin.
Relax. It's strictly confidential. I ain't gonna share it with anybody.
Then what did you mix a virus in with the nanomachines for?
Virus?
A certain virus was detected in my body. Are you saying it wasn't in the nanomachines you injected?
Look, you do know there are other folks who could have done this to you. And besides, what would I gain from infecting you? Better for me that you're out there kicking ass on the battlefield. I was watching you, Snake. You're a real piece of work. Never thought I'd meet the man who could take down Laughing Octopus single-handedly. She just kept on laughing. Now why do you suppose that is?
Something in her past.
You got it. She's from a village in Scandinavia. Little seaside hamlet known to all the locals as the Devil's Village. Place wasn't known for devils, though. It was known for octopus. See, this was one of the few places in Europe where they ate octopus customarily. Anyway, there's this cult of crazies who for some reason hate the village with a passion. Then, when she was just a teenager, things get bad. These nutcases get their hands on some weapons and attack the village. Overnight, her sleepy little fishing town becomes a war zone. They round up all the villagers and execute them one by one. Except for that girl. They had something else planned for her. Something a whole lot worse than dying. Calling her the devil's child, they forced her to do the kind of thing you'd expect from one of Lucifer's own. After they made her torture her family and friends, they made her kill them. The whole time they were forcing her to laugh, howl like some sort of demon. Like she was enjoying it. What was she gonna do? Say no? They'd kill her too. So she let fear take control and did exactly as they told her. She butchered the bodies of the ones she loved and laughed while she did it. And as she bathed in their blood, it gradually turned from deep red to jet black. To her, it looked like the ink of an octopus. The experience scarred her deep. Ever since then, she hasn't stopped laughing. Only, that ain't really laughter.
Why are you telling me this? You expect me to feel sorry for her?
Nah. I know you got no room for that stuff in your world. And besides, this is war. Right? In a way, though, I guess it was the right thing to do.
What was?
Fighting you cleansed her mind. All right, enough chit-chat. There's other beasts out there in them woods. Watch your back.
Rose. I just got a call from Raiden.
Apparently Rose wears a different sweater depending on what day you're playing the game. So Rose's sweaters is going to be changing drastically between recordings, as some of these scenes were recorded on different days.
Snake, I have a favor to ask.
So I guess you get your good selection of sexy outfits for Rose, depending on how I record these things.
What happened?
Also, aesthetically, I actually like this sweater, and I like the tiny little necklace she has. She looks actually really nice here. See what I meant about, like, once you see Snake's once you notice the details on Snake's ass, it's just impossible to unsee them. The levels of how casual, like, Naomi is during this entire area are just surreal.
And things on your end? I see. We're on schedule here as well.
Yeah, there may be a bit of dramatic foreshadowing right here. Or a bit of foreshadowing.
Until then.
See, I can't tell whether or not Snake is, like, staring directly at her tits or her name tag. And by the way, remember what I said about Kojima apparently finds doctor characters really, really hot? Like, you can kind of see that a lot with Naomi's redesign. As before, she was in a baggy sweater, and now it's just like, screw it, she's in South America, she's warm all the time. It's like, have her wear a lab coat, what I'm pretty sure is just a leather, I think, well, actually what she's wearing is a leather coat that's been converted into, like, a sort of pseudo dress. Jennifer Hale, another great voice actress who's awesome in everything she does.
How is the good doctor?
Otacon's fine. He's the same as ever.
Otacon?
It's very interesting how, like, Naomi and Colonel Campbell always have this air to them that it always feels like there's something they're hiding.
I suppose he's really Ocelot. He's not.
But then again, I'm not spoiling. I'm not gonna explicitly spoil stuff.
I'm powerless to resist.
Did you just turn British there? It's like for a split second, it was like, are you just referencing your old voice that you did for the original Metal Gear Solid? We run on Twin Snake's logic in this game. Yeah, Kojima definitely wanted to have her titties on display there.
And if I answer your question,
Let's hear it first.
I like the level of, like, distrustfulness that Snake is displaying, given that Naomi, the last time we gave her a certain degree of trust, she injected us with a virus that was supposed to kill us.
primarily to maintain artificial.
Funnily enough, I think I've mentioned that I think the game's color palette looks kind of one tone at a time sort of thing. Like, over the course of the game, it turns to multiple different palettes. But that hilariously does reflect the SOP system, because it feels more controlled, even if I'm not like the biggest fan of its artistic direction, if you will. This test picture of Naomi that they have there, is that actually what she's supposed to look like? Because I'll tell you right now, like, how she looks in the game does not accurately reflect that to me. Because, like, that picture looks more Middle Eastern, whereas like, Naomi's model actually looks more European, or like North European. Something about these pictures just looks hilarious. It looks like the Sorrow's, like, off days or something, and where he's just doing really uncomfortable stuff.
Until that point, war was like a game to them.
This is just a weird, surreal thing to include.
Reality came crashing down.
That freaking the game screen. It's kind of the proof that you are not supposed to take these visuals as literally, that Naomi is just talking to Snake, and this is for you, the viewer.
Even the most grizzled veterans live with an inescapable guilt they've had to overcome.
Okay, right here, this is actually a scene that goes into first-person view. I'm not sure if they actually signal it though. Because Snake has two pervy moments he has, where he's trying to look up Naomi's skirt, and the other one he's looking down Naomi's cleavage. That shot right here is so intimate. It looks like she's about to start squeezing his waist or something. I'd also like to point out that Naomi is actually in debt to Snake one strip search. So now she's doubling the debt. She's doubling the debt, all right? He's gonna have a fun time once they both get back to the ship or the airplane. Naomi is, like, usually considered one of the more complex characters, and one thing about her is that, like, she, to an extent, shows a great sense of hatred towards Snake and also sympathy. I'd also like to point out that as ripped as Snake is in these next couple of scenes, he apparently only weighs 140 pounds, because they actually show his height and weight. He's like, I think it's like 5'10" and 140 pounds, but it's in meters and kilograms, so it might just be a weird translate, or it might just be, like, semi-accurate.
One of the genes that inhibit reproduction.
Yeah, this shot again is also really intimate. There's something about it where it's just like I kind of get the point that they're trying to intentionally do this, where they're trying to make it I don't think intimate, but very volatile.
Your clones, they shortened your lifespan and removed your ability to reproduce.
Some people may think this was actually just a way of making sure that Kojima was going to end the series. No, apparently this was the plan as early as Metal Gear Solid 2. Because apparently, like, this was the reason for Raiden. Because the Japanese women they interviewed hated the idea of playing as an old man. I sometimes wonder if Naomi's dress wasn't just like, oh, let's just make her look sexy. I actually kind of get the impression it's supposed to be to deliberately distract the player, because the thing that's really interesting about Naomi here, okay, I guess, like, the other parts of her are interesting too, but her facial expressions are really interesting to watch, because it looks repeatedly like she is swapping emotions on a dime. She's like the only character who proper has a lot of expressiveness put to her face. Okay, right here is another perv moment. If you're holding the first person button, you can actually just look right down her tits.
When I said half a year, I wasn't talking about your lifespan.
This is one of the most weirdly asshole moments.
Ever since Shadow Moses, Foxdie has been breeding.
Yeah, this kind of, like, planting down the cigarettes kind of seems like another example of putting something to distract someone so that they don't pay attention to what else you're doing.
Half a year.
No. 3 months at the most.
Yeah, that's the kind of the asshole moments. It's just like, okay, I set you up for 6 months and then just drop you down to 3. And this bit right here.
Entire life saving the world from Metal Gear, from nuclear annihilation, and now you're becoming a doomsday device yourself.
There's something about that sentence that just makes me think that Naomi is intentionally trying to make Snake feel as if his life is worthless.
Just 1%.
This is my plan. I'm gonna start smoking packs a day, and the lung cancer will catch up before the fox die.
Do you have any idea who?
Him.
This is a scene that needs the flashback, because otherwise you have no clue the fuck you're talking about. I somehow get there's an impression, or I get the impression that that mirror is supposed to have some sort of meaning. I can think of a few, but not only for spoilers, but but even because I'm not sure entirely what exactly the meaning is supposed to be. So I'm not gonna say what I think. Seriously, why does he keep taking the operator's suppressor off? The reason 2 people are credited for the voice is because it's just 2 voices overlaying each other. How the hell did he not notice her? She was in the exact same position that she started at last time.
It's all so fucking hysterical.
I believe that is the only F word in the entire series. Congratulations, Laughing Octopus. You get that honor. Oh boy. Well, that's just gross.
It's not funny.
Yeah, the B&B Corps have some of the most weird visual quirks. And just like weird visual...
Nothing is funny.
like visual changes out of all the characters.
Laughing.
Yeah, this is what's just so weird about the B&B Corps as an idea. I don't want to think about horrific wartime events as sexy. It's just
Sorry.
freaking. It's a rather vicious erection killer, really.
Sorry.
Yeah, the B&B Corps have, as I said, the most amount of just weird visual stuff that happens with them. Mostly flowers. Now, if I recall correctly, if you kill any of the B&B Corps members, their suit will actually start charring up and burning. Now, one neat thing about the B&B Corps is that they actually do serve as upgrades to the existing gameplay mechanics. One will give you camo. 2 of them give you... Oh, well, actually, and the other 3 give you really damn good weapons. And at 33:25, we have our grunt of the night. When Naomi is getting pulled out by the PMC soldiers, she makes this noise. That's it for now. Join me next time when we follow Naomi's trail and try to get back to her. See you guys then.